Thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
I am fantastic and I am so excited to be here today with you, Marcella. Yeah, 10 years. It's like, where does the time go? And I'm so happy and I'm so grateful just to be here with you. I'm excited to talk about all these fantastic opportunities that are coming up.
Absolutely. And I'm super excited to be on this opportunity wagon with you. So, to get started, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what's going on?
So I have a 30-year background in real estate as a broker in California and a broker salesperson in Nevada for the last 20 years. And it's crazy because I'm only 35, right? Of course. But seriously, my dad is a commercial broker. So ever since I was a kid, I would always hear my dad talking about how real estate is relationships. And sometimes I would tag along with him on some of his appointments. And I was little, but I'd be like listening in to what he'd have to say. And I remember like him talking about integrity in the business. And he was working with a bunch of people who was always like his handshake was his bond and his word was his bond. And I just learned so much as a kid from him. And funny, he wanted me to grow up to be an attorney or a doctor, or he said that I should marry one. And so it was funny. I was on the track to becoming an attorney, and I went to UCLA. And I realized I didn't want to argue for the rest of my life. So I ended up in economics because that's a natural transition, right? But I love data. I love econ. I love the numbers. My dad was a numbers guy as well. And fast forward, I ended up following in my dad's footsteps when I got my real estate license. And funny enough, my dad said, I wanted a better life for you. I focused on residential real estate. My dad was in commercial. He and I worked together for maybe 2 years of my entire career. But for the most part, I learned so much from him, and the integrity was a huge piece. And I later became a real estate instructor. And fast forward, I've had several other businesses that always was around real estate. And about 10 years ago, I met you, and now I'm away from the real estate and into the land underneath it. So, yeah, such a great shift. And I'm so excited to be retiring from residential real estate now.
Congratulations.
Yes, it's huge. It's huge.
That is huge. And it's funny how your dad was in real estate, and when you got into it, he's, what are you doing? I want it better for you.
So, yes, funny. And
Wow.
yet, my dad is 90. He's 94 years old. And if it wasn't for COVID, he would still be out working his commercial business. He said he would never give it up.
Oh,
But
wow.
COVID slowed him down. Yeah, he loves the business.
I love that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your investor background?
I've been one of those who, because as an entrepreneur and someone working for myself, I've always had to think about my future and how am I going to retire, right? Retirement is always something that's been on the back of my mind, but also I don't have a 401k. I've never had a boss. So whenever I'd come across a few extra bucks or I had a nice closing, I would sock that money away and I would start investing in things. And it was always with the mindset of this is long term. So I think that it's no big secret that land is the way to go as far as long-term investments. However, I think it's a shame that over the years, people have been burned by land because they don't know how to invest in it. And for me, I hadn't met anyone who had the education that I needed and the data that I needed in order for me to invest in land until I met you. So lucky for me, because up until I met you, I was investing in things like mutual funds and the stock market. And I would, if I had a big enough commission, I would maybe kick in and buy a piece of real estate. And so I've had real estate investments. In fact, I had my first investment. I should say my first real estate investment was a commercial building in Hayward, California, and it was a motorcycle shop. That was around 2000. So we're talking 25 years now. And it was a great investment in that motorcycles is one of my passions and one of my hobbies. And I bought the business with it. So I bought the building, I bought the business, and that was my first like real estate hard real property investment. And fast forward, I've bought and sold several more over the years, and now I'm liquidating everything so that I could put it all into the dirt.
I love it. Wow.
Yes, yes,
That's quite an amazing start to start with a commercial real estate that already has a business. It's like that's a lot to handle and manage and take care of.
yes.
So I know you've purchased rental properties as well. You also mentioned getting out of it. When I talk to people who are interested in investing in real estate, a lot of times they're considering buying rental properties. So want to share more about your rental property experience with everyone?
Once again, like my rental property experience all stems from the idea of me having something for my retirement. Purchasing something where a tenant would pay for my mortgage. Maybe I'll make a few bucks to supplement my lifestyle. Maybe I'll just break even because I'm really looking towards the appreciation in the property over time. That was the goal. And that being said, I have helped several family and friends, and my specialty has been working with real estate investors, especially since moving to the Las Vegas area 25 years ago. So, for the most part, I bring tons of real estate investors from California and I put them into the market here because that's what I knew. And it was something that worked for me. In fact, I would say that I'm probably one of those who is not as risk adverse. I don't mind taking risks because my intention is long term. And at the time, 15, 20, 25 years ago, I had that kind of time that if something were to go wrong, I had plenty of time to make up for it. And I bought a an investment property, a single family home in Utah, sight unseen, 20, yeah, 20 years, 21 years ago now. And that property, I thought, oh, wow, score. I doubled the equity in the first 10 and probably added another 20% since then. And I thought, wow, I'm doing really great with this property. In fact, 21 years later, I still haven't seen the property. I bought it from data. And I know it's there because I get a check every month from my property manager, right? But even with that, even having a property manager in place and it being sight unseen, I still have problems. I still have the roof needs repaired. Oh, we need new appliances. There was a leak from the dishwasher, or there's always something that goes wrong. When a tenant moves out, we have to go ahead and go back in, and there's a chunk of change that I have to spend to update and paint and carpet. And while I think that property has been my most successful property over the years, it's still a headache. I can't explain it. It's just, I am so over tenants. They're nice people. That's great. But the reality is, the responsibility is on my shoulders to make sure everything goes smooth there, even with property management in place. I'm over it. I don't know what else to say about that. As recently, in fact, as recently as, gosh, 2 weeks ago here in Vegas, I had one of my investment properties, a break-in, and someone kicked in the door, the back door to the kitchen, and took the whole door frame with it, broke the security door, everything. And I couldn't believe it. And it happened. In fact, it happened on Halloween. What I'm trying to do is secure this place because a squatter broke in and broke the door frame. And I'm trying to secure it for my client who is out of state. And this is exactly why I'm getting out of the real estate business, because I am tired of tenants and squatters and property management stuff. This is not what I do. I did not sign up to be a real estate professional. To do tenant services. Oh my God. And I'm getting bit like crazy. It's driving me bonkers. Mosquitoes are out in full force today, and that's making me crazy too. So, let's see if I can get this wood screw in here, and then I can go home and enjoy the rest of my day.
Oh, wow.
I discovered that it was broken into by another agent. They called me up and said, hey, we were showing your property for a new tenant, and we noticed that the back door was not secure and it's been broken. So here it is, Halloween. I'm getting dressed to take my kid out, and I have to stop everything and I have to go over and like I'm with a drill and I'm trying to fix this lock and trying to secure the property and trying to do it in a time frame so that I could still go out for Halloween night. And it's just such I don't want to do it anymore. It's not worth the headache. And for that, there's so many other stories. But for that reason alone, I'm so grateful that I met you because I am out. That was the last experience. I'm going to put a tenant in place and I'm putting it on the market right after the new year. I'm done.
Good for you.
Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that the property that also had a water issue too?
Oh, yeah. Let's not talk about the water issue. Yes.
Okay.
In fact, we had just remodeled the kitchen. We had just remodeled the kitchen. We were getting ready to paint the exterior, and we didn't know that the brand new faucet was faulty. And I guess that it was leaking underneath the sink, but it wasn't hitting the floor because it was going underneath the luxury vinyl. And the vinyl was waterproof, so it wasn't warping.
Oh, wow.
So we didn't even know that it was leaking until we got the water bill. And what a nightmare that is. So now dealing with insurance and I can't. I just can't. I don't have it in me anymore. I don't have the patience anymore, Marcella.
I don't blame you, Sonia. And our time is valuable. You mentioned like you've been doing this thing for 30 years, and 20 years ago, problems weren't such a big deal, but now it is. And just what I've heard personally from landlords who have to deal with the insurance for a claim for the property is like pulling teeth. It's like the worst
Mhm.
nightmare ever. Imagine the amount of time you're wasting trying to get your money back to keep the property up. Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And to take it to the next level, and this is coming from someone who this has been my career. Real estate has been my career for 30 years. I own my home. I live in a fantastic home in Las Vegas. I've said over and over again, if I could afford to lift my house up and drop it into Southern California somewhere near a beach, that would be fantastic. Obviously, I can't do that, but knowing what I know now as far as land goes, I probably would never have bought this house.
Mm.
And especially since I was just telling you about the water situation with the rental, I had a similar problem. No, I'm sorry. I have a similar problem here in this home.
Oh,
Right now, I've got a water issue as well. And again, we didn't know that there was a water issue because the water leak is inside the wall from the shower. And this is the home that I'm in. So now I've got an unexpected remodel that I have to do in my own home now, on top of dealing with the insurance on the other place. And oh, by the way, I can't even file the insurance claim on this home because I had a water heater issue 3 years ago that tripled my insurance rate. So
yikes.
yeah, I can't even do it. I can't. It's like this is in my home. I don't plan on selling this home. Not yet. I have to live somewhere. I think the rents are probably more expensive now out there than my mortgage, but I tell you, I keep thinking about it. I keep thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's tremendous. Just the home insurance alone. So, like myself and my husband, we don't own the home that we live in.
Mhm.
Never owned a home. I only own land because I hear all of the horror stories that go on, plus the amount of just expenses to own a house.
For
Like the
sure.
house that I live in, same thing that you're talking about. It was leaking behind the shower,
Mhm.
caused mold. And luckily
Like,
I saw it and I had the landlord come out and he was just going to patch it real quick. I said, no, I'm not going to put my health at risk because you want to be a cheap landlord.
right,
And he wouldn't get away with that. So sure enough, he had a mold guy come out. There was mold. He had to
right.
completely replace the whole master bathroom situation. And I'm like, thank goodness I'm getting a new bathroom and I didn't pay anything for that.
And it's yeah, and then hey, it's your problem, not mine. And so imagine me, this is happening in my rentals and now in my own home too. So it's like double whammy, right? Like when is it going to stop?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, Sonia. That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And that's what they call the cost of home ownership. Now, of course, I'm not going to ever tell anyone don't buy a home, buy land, because we have been raised a certain way and we are supposed to do things a certain way. And that's the American dream. But for me, I don't even want to list homes for sale anymore, to be honest. I don't. I don't want to help another buyer buy another home. I would rather help someone get into land and then let that sit and grow and then let them buy something cash down the road. I'll be happy to help you then. I think
Exactly.
it's a much better, easier way to go. It might not sound like the proper steps, but now I think no matter what, education is the most important thing. Now that I'm educated and I understand, like, especially with what we're doing and where we're doing it, and because it is so data driven and all the economic factors, like, of course, I love all that stuff, right? I eat all that stuff up. And now that I know that I am connected to the right people and the right information, and I understand so much how owning land first before owning your home is, again, it might seem counterintuitive, but if I knew then what I know now, I definitely would have went that way. There's no question.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, and you're not the only one who I've seen over my career change their mindset around homes and land too. Just because, like you said, a a home is subject to functional obsolescence, right? As soon
Mhm.
as it's built, it's starting to degrade.
That's right.
We got to keep fixing it up. And then, God forbid, some crazy situation happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
It's
and the
too much.
insurance. Like, I keep going back to the insurance and how much our insurance costs are going up.
Marcella, can I just tell you, like, my insurance used to be $600 a year. After my water heater broke and the water, because of the builder, mind you, I bought this home brand new 25 years ago. The builder didn't build the niche wide enough for the water heater so that there's no pan underneath it. There's no water heater pan. So what happened was when the water heater burst, instead of the water rushing away from the house, it ran into the house, into my back bedroom, into the laundry room. It was complete, the carpet, the flooring, the studs, everything completely soaked. And we caught it in time, and it was still a pretty hefty mess. And that was, let's see, 3 years ago. My insurance today is $2,100 because of that one heater issue.
Wow.
Tripled. It tripled, more than tripled. What a nightmare. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's in Vegas.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
I know out here in California, people are seeing literally tens of thousands of dollars in increases in
Yeah.
their property insurance. And that's without some sort of disaster.
Correct. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think
Wow.
I'm supposed to be called one of the lucky ones, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
We're
think so.
lucky. It's so funny. And it's interesting. You mentioned the American dream. And it's, if you really look back and look at history, the true original American dream was land ownership and controlling land.
Wow.
And then it was the banks and the mortgage companies who stood to make a ton of money that then sold us the American dream.
Of course, isn't it? Isn't it always marketing? Isn't it always corporations, big corporations, big pharma, big food? It's unfortunate that in especially where we are in the United States of America, this is supposed to be the land of the free and all that stuff, right? We're supposed to be able to achieve all of our dreams, and yet we're literally sold a story. And I don't want to say that we're conned. We are told this is the way it's supposed to be. And it's unfortunate because the marketing and all of these big corporations is what sold us on the concepts that we now adhere to. And it's a story. It really is a story. And until we educate ourselves and until we understand how money works, how investing in true assets works, don't get me wrong. purchasing real estate, commercial or residential, is still fantastic on the grand scheme of things, right? It's not crypto, it's not stocks or mutual funds, right? But if you're looking for something that is solid and that's real, and if you have the correct data, if you have the education and you buy where the data is showing you where to buy, it is a no-brainer. This is a no-brainer. And if I had known, I might still be living in this house, but I'd be paying cheap rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, if only. It's funny, every when talked to people who are just a little later in life, so many of them had said, "Oh, I shoulda, woulda, coulda bought this land XYZ."
Yes.
They didn't. And luckily, the opportunity is still available. And I remember, and actually, I think you helped jogged my memory on this. One of our first conversations that you and I had, you were telling me about your big win with
I
your
remember.
Utah property.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it's funny because I was like saying to you that, yeah, of course I'm interested in land. I have, again, I'm not risk adverse. I bought this property sight unseen and look at here are all the statistics. And oh, yeah. And that was 10 years ago. And I had doubled my investment. And you looked at me and it was so funny because I don't think, and I didn't take it as an insult. Believe me, I didn't take it as an insult, but you said to me, you go, oh, wow, that's so great. You go, that's amazing. You said, congratulations. In land, if you only doubled your investment in 10 years, that's considered a fail. Fail. And I was like, wait, what? I was like, fail. I thought I was doing all good. And then what happened? I still held on to it for another 10 years. That's 20 years later, because again, when I invest, I set it, I forget it, it's gone. It wasn't until this year that, and you'd been inviting me year after year to go on these land tours. It wasn't until I went out there and I saw and I touched and I felt and I met the owner of the company and I found out that he was an econ major too. And it was like, whoa, wait, more data? Oh my God. I think that my head almost exploded. You know what I mean? I was
I
like,
think your head
whoa,
did explode.
I couldn't write fast enough. I was like, I wish I had a photographic memory. But yeah, it wasn't until I saw and felt and touched the whole thing. And it was like, whoa. Now, again, it's not even, I'm proud of myself for trusting you. And I'm proud of myself for investing the way I did over these 10 years. And what did I do? As soon as we left town, we opened escrow a couple days later on another parcel. I'm like, let's get some more. Yeah, now you've turned me into an addict.
Welcome to the addict family.
That's right.
Hey, if you're
For
going to be
sure.
addicted to anything, being addicted to land is probably one of the best things you could be.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question. Even my son, he's 12, and Andrew said to me, he's, Mom, so what you're saying is land is the best investment? We did a little investment 101 a few weeks ago, and it
Oh,
was
I
really
love that.
cute. It was super cute. Yeah.
I think that's so important to share that with the younger generation because what you mentioned is we were taught one thing, have the American dream, get your white
Yep.
picket fence.
Yes.
And then there's the truth. Like the wealthiest people throughout history have owned
Mhm.
what? Wars are fought over what?
That's right. Land. Absolutely. They're still being fought over land.
They're still
It's like a tug of war of land. And and then the funny thing is that it's not even funny. I think what's sad is there have been a lot of people who have been burned in this country. You see these late night infomercials. Oh, you can buy 40 acres in, I don't know, Idaho for $5. Wait, what? Oh, okay, sign me up, sign me up. But then they don't realize that it's not usable land. You can't do anything with it. It's all forest, or there's rocks, or there's caliche. Like there's something in the ground, the easements, there's so many things. And I think that a lot of people have been burned, and a lot of people don't understand that there's no scam here. You just have to get educated and you have to be connected with the right people that you can trust. And that's the number that goes all the way back to my dad, right? Where your word is your bond, your handshake is the deal, right? And that's the one thing that I love about this business and being in business with you, because not only do I trust you, But your background, hello, you're a science geek like me. You know what I mean? We're numbers people. The data doesn't lie. Math and science do not lie.
Mhm.
That was one of the things that impressed me the most about you when we first met is your data dumps. Like when you started talking or when you did a presentation, I was like, wow. You know what I mean? I love her.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I
On
know
and
the
off.
data is amazing.
It is because it doesn't lie. And the numbers don't lie, the math doesn't lie, the experiences, the clients that you've had, these are facts. And I'm really fortunate. I'm just super, super fortunate and grateful to have met you.
Same, the feeling is so mutual.
Hugs.
Oh my
Big
gosh,
hugs.
yes. I was like you when I first found out about land banking. I was burning a hole in the page from writing so fast,
Yes. Geeking out, right?
geeking out on all the data, and it's tremendous amount, like overwhelming amounts.
Absolutely.
And so I totally get it, especially since, like you said, you are an economics person, and land banking is all about the economics,
100%.
just the economics, but that's a huge piece of it.
It's a huge piece of if you're trying to capitalize, right? If you want to capitalize on land in this lifetime, in our lifetimes where we can enjoy, like for me, it's about retirement. How many years have I been dreaming about retirement? And after taking the land tour with you a couple months ago, I could see my retirement. I
Mm.
literally could see it. And I had a huge shift in my mindset, in my vision for my life. It was like, wow, everything that I've done, all the different businesses that I've been in, my motorcycle business, I was in the computer business before laptops were considered laptops. They were like this fat and $8,000, right? I did solar before solar was the way it is now. All these different things that I've done, everything that I've done has led to this point. And I am in such a huge place of gratitude because not only have has the universe put me in alignment, right? Not only have I put myself in alignment, but I have connected with the right people, the right places, the right timing that has led me all to this point.
Mm.
And that is huge. And not to mention the fact that you're spiritual as well. Wait, what? And we follow a lot of the same thought leaders. That's wow, too. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting. And it's been a huge shift for me just in this last few months.
I love it. It's giving me chills. It's just
Trust
like
me.
the divine right order, divine right timing, all happened
Yes,
exactly how it's meant to, unfolding in just perfect order. So
absolutely.
I applaud you on your journey and your open-mindedness to learn something different, to find something different, to have a better life for yourself, for your son, just for your future in general. Do you want to speak any more on that?
I am very excited because I like to think that I do operate with an open mind. Like, I don't want to, especially with new experiences, I don't want to hold a lot of expectation. But what's cool is that when my expectations are exceeded, that's huge. And so for me, when I bought my first piece of land with you guys, my son was, I think he was like 1 or 2 years old. I think he was right before his second birthday. And of course, I'm buying it with him in mind. And I remember then we were talking about 15 to 20 years as that should be my timeline as far as looking at for some kind of a return. And as long as my timeline was along that time frame, I'm thinking, okay, 15 to 20 years, my kid's going to be getting ready for college. Perfect. So that was my mindset. But after taking the physical tour and seeing that 15 to 20 years literally got shortened by half, like 7 to 10 years, we're there. I'm already receiving letters in the mail, people making me offers and asking to survey my land. And it's very exciting because the expectation that you set for me was exceeded. You know what I mean? We've cut the timeline on almost half. And it's happening so much sooner that I mean, for my son, this is not just for him. This is for his children and his children's children. Like I am literally setting him up to win. And not only that, I've even bought land for my nephews. And I haven't even told my brother and his wife, I haven't even told them about it because I bought them a parcel because why wouldn't I want to share this with the people that I love the most, right? And so this is generational wealth that I had no idea I was going to even see in this lifetime. And we're right there. We're right there. I don't want to jinx anything, but I really feel like here within the next handful of years, that yeah, they're set. They're set.
Oh, for sure. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh. And then like with the most recent parcel that you bought, talk about generational legacy where there's potential for land lease, which
That's
could
actually
be
That's what
35,
I
40
want.
years.
Yes, exactly. I don't want to sell it. Are you kidding me? I don't. I'm praying. I'm like, yes, please. I'm chanting for a land lease. No, I don't want to sell it. Yeah, just give me some passive income. I'm more excited about that than selling anything. Keep everything. I don't care. Just give me a few bucks here and there per acre. I'll be good.
Exactly. And the future generations, are they even going to have this type of opportunity available to them?
No, not based on the information, not based on the data. It doesn't look
No,
like I don't know how you could even create a similar situation or even remotely similar opportunity to what we have right now. I
no.
just I just don't see it. I don't see it. We're in a very specific niche and timeline with respect to electric vehicles, with respect to the semi trucks that are EVs, with AI. I had no idea how much power it takes just to take care of AI and what the direction of that's going. And for all the people who hate AI or think that it's not right or whatever, sorry, I'm not a big fan of my kid being on a computer all day long either. But you know what? If I don't get him on the program, and getting in rhythm with AI, you know what? He's going to be left behind. We don't have a choice. It's happening whether we want it to happen or not. And it's not just inevitable, it is the way of the future. And for the area that we're in with respect to land and AI, oh my, wow, it's really mind blowing. And all the big players know it too, right? All your Warren Buffetts and your Walmarts and Google and Amazon and all of them, Apple, they all know it. They're in the game. So I have no problem following their lead. I'm good. We know what they've done.
I know. And it's so funny as you were mentioning those names, Buffett, Amazon, Google,
Yep.
you own properties next to
Yeah.
projects owned by these companies.
And it's mind blowing because, again, I think I bought my first property with you 8 years ago. There was nothing there, remember? Nothing. And now all these players are my neighbors. And I'm like, hey, hi, neighbor. I
And
love
so,
it.
just for clarity for everyone who's listening, what does it mean that they're your neighbor?
It's just if you were to buy real estate, right? They always say one of the main rules is that you're supposed to buy the cheapest house in the best neighborhood, as opposed to the most expensive, nicest house in a cheaper neighborhood, right? Because your neighborhood determines your future value. And so if you were to buy an expensive house in a cheaper neighborhood, what ends up happening is you go to sell that really beautiful, gorgeous house, there's no comparables. There's nothing there that's going to support the value of that home, even though you put all this money into it. But if you buy the cheapest property in a high value neighborhood, what's nice is that the neighbors bring the value of your property up. And that's where I'm cool. Hey, you know what? When we're talking about dirt is dirt, what makes one dirt more expensive than another dirt? It's who's putting what on that dirt, right? And guess what? I don't have to worry about putting anything on my dirt. I'm just going to hold it until somebody wants to put something on it. And hopefully it'll be one of my neighbors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And just to take it a little bit further, your neighbors being Amazon and Google and Warren Buffett, they own massive utility scale solar projects,
Yes.
which are being used to meet government mandates to go green.
Yep. And that's mind blowing, especially when I was in the solar industry in 2014. So over 10 years ago, when it was still all the incentives, government incentives were helping families go solar on their homes. And in California, I remember they passed the mandate where by 2000, let's see, this is 2035, right? Is it 2035? That they have to be 100% green energy. I'm sorry, by 2045, they had to be 100% green energy powering residences in California. And I also remember when they were building new projects, the mandate was any new homes had to be installed with solar on them before they were sold to the public. And I also remember thinking there is no possible way that in 30 years they're going to be able to produce enough electricity, green electricity, to power 100% of the homes in California. I was like, there's no way. And yet it's only been 8 years, 10 years? What? Wait.
Since they made the 100% mandate, that was in
Yes.
2018. So,
Yes.
yeah, 8 years.
2018. Yeah. So in 8 years since they mandated 100% green energy for homes, they're already over 70% there. And they're what, almost 20 years ahead of schedule.
Amazing.
So 20 years ahead of schedule, that's mind blowing. And you know what? Here's the thing. The reality is, I was right in that there was no way the utilities were going to be able to create that power. But what happened was all these major corporations and overseas companies that came in, they're the ones that are smart. They're the ones who created the power for the utilities. And that's how they were able to do it. That's where all the Buffetts come in. And it's amazing. It's
So you
amazing.
get to own the dirt that creates the energy that is then sold to the utility companies.
Yep.
Talk about a recession-proof investment.
No question, without doubt. And like I said, I am praying for a land lease because for me, it's about retirement. It's about being able to have that passive income so that I don't have to worry about paying my bills or putting my kid through college or doing any of that. I want to be able to enjoy my life while I'm still young enough to enjoy it. And yeah, I don't, hey, somebody offers to purchase something from me, it's got to be a magic number. It's got to be a big magic number for me. But I am really not just praying, but I am expecting. That's an expectation I'll put out there. I'm expecting a nice, healthy land lease. Yes.
Yes, I'm saying yes to that for you too.
Thank you. And so it is.
And so it is exactly. And
Yeah.
so you mentioned a nice passive income. How would you differ passive income from a land lease versus passive income from a rental?
Oh my goodness, there's no question. First of all, with the investment properties that I've purchased and that I've been involved with respect to partners, with families, and the properties that I've had on my own, every single one I've had to put a hefty down payment on, right? So on an investment property, the banks expect a good 20, sometimes up to 30% down payment, right? When I started investing in single family homes, purchase prices were around that. The goal was to purchase something around $150,000. That's 25 years ago. So where can you find a $150,000 home, first of all? But let's just pretend. Let's pretend we're
In
buying,
those cheap neighborhoods you were
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
a cheap neighborhood somewhere in the middle of the country, somewhere that where no one wants to live. So for $150,000, 20% down, $30,000, right? Plus closing costs, say $35,000. That $35,000 is going to get me a mortgage, right? At a 6% interest rate, maybe. And then I'll be able to find a tenant that, based on the interest rate, hopefully, and the market, their rent is going to be able to cover the mortgage payment and the taxes and the insurance and the repairs and the maintenance for that property, right? So hopefully I break even. Hopefully, or maybe I'm positive $100. Let's say I'm positive $100 a month, right? Let's be generous. In fact, let's be super generous. Let's say $500 a month I'm positive,
Oh,
right?
that's like super generous.
I know, right? So I'm just talking fantasy numbers now. So if I make $500 a month on a rental that I had to put $30,000 on, that's what? 500, 12, $6,000 a year, right? Versus for $30,000, I rewind, 30,000 plus closing costs, $35,000, I could buy a few acres of land.
Closing costs are 100. A few $100s.
Few hundred, okay, not $35,000 that I would have to put down on a single family home,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yes, $35,000 on a single family home with closing costs versus purchasing a $35,000 parcel of land in Southern California. Let's say maybe I can get 5 or 6 acres. Let's say 5 acres to keep it simple. A land lease, 5 acres, maybe I can make, I don't know, $20,000 a year passive. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Versus $6,000 a year and have headaches? I don't think so. I'm over it. Next,
And there's no
moving
fixing
on.
up, there's no
No tenants,
insurance,
no
there's
taxes,
no
nope, no termites, no, oh gosh, no,
swinging a
please,
hammer on Halloween evening.
no running out on Halloween. Exactly. Ugh, what a nightmare. I would much rather invest in land. Absolutely. Yep. And oh, by the way, we haven't even talked about, forget about if it was a lease. What if I just sold it outright? I
Yeah.
mean, you know what I mean? Invest $35,000 in land, and what if I just doubled my money?
Oh, again, that would be a fail.
Now I understand what you mean. Now I understand what
Yes.
you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, on a $35,000 property, I've seen people selling for over 250,000.
Wow.
So it's like
Wow. That's eight, seven, 8 times. Yeah.
exactly. We're talking multiples, multiples.
Wow.
One of my investors just got a offer letter today, actually.
Ah.
And he bought the property just in 2022. And the initial offer, which as you never take the initial offer because
Hmm.
they can always go higher, but the initial low ball offer was double what he bought it for
Wow. In 3 years.
in 3 years.
Wow.
And he lives in Thailand.
Wow. That money goes a long way in Thailand.
Exactly. And
Wow.
he's not doing anything with the land.
That's
He's
unreal.
not having to deal with anything. So what would you recommend to people these days? Because they know there's a lot of quote unquote market uncertainty out there. Give us your advice as a longtime investor.
So I think that the most important thing is to get educated, right? No matter what it is that you do, whether you're looking for a new job, you're looking to move somewhere, you want to invest your money, whatever it is that you're doing, you have to get educated, right? And it's like, where do you do that? Like, I think the default for a lot of people is online and like Google or ChatGPT or something. But the land is very unique and it's different because there's so many moving parts, and the moving parts you can't find online. So I think that the most important thing if you're going to get into land banking is you got to get on one of the calls. You have to get on the webinar. So the recorded webinar, I think that's a really solid start. In fact, there's so much information. Again, there's data. If you're a data monger like we are, you're gonna eat it up. You're gonna love it, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, give me more. And so if you can get on the recorded webinar, the dirtisgold.com webinar, get on that, and then hopefully you can get on the line with me or set up an appointment with you, and then we can either meet with you like next or put you on a live webinar, or maybe even when we have like the Black Friday special that's coming up, right? There's so many opportunities to get information. But that is definitely the first step is you have to get educated. Get your data from a reliable source. And there's no question that Marcella, you are a plethora of land, economical data, science, tech, like even your emails that you send me. I'm like, wait, there's more. I barely read the ones from last week. Wait, there's more. There's more. It's a good thing that I love it.
Like overwhelming, I know.
Yeah, but you got to get educated. That's the first step for sure.
Get educated. Absolutely. And what's the minimum investment for people who are interested?
$25,000. Can you imagine? $25,000 and you can actually own land in California
I know.
and Southern California at that, right? Wait, what?
I
Southern
know.
California, $25,000 is your minimum investment. I think it's mind blowing. I think everybody should be doing this for sure.
And not just Southern California, but in the fastest growing area in California, if not the entire United States.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's wild. It's wild. And
It
like I said,
is.
having all of the data to back it up is it's just not blowing smoke. It's like literally the fastest growing area in the country right now. It's amazing.
And to share real quick, how did you find your monies to invest?
So funny enough, so I did have a job when I was in college when I thought I was going to be a lawyer. When I thought I was going to be a lawyer. Back when I was on the success track of my dad. So I had some money in an old 401k that I just been like rolling over. And so I did have some money in old 401k. I also I got a line of credit against my mutual fund account. So I talked to my accountant, my financial advisor, and I was like, look, I've been socking money away in this mutual fund account. How can I use it without having any tax consequence? That's a huge thing for me. And so he was able to get me a loan against my mutual fund so that there wasn't a tax issue. And then I combined that with my old 401k that had just been sitting there like rotting away. And I was able to buy my first parcel that way. So I think it might have cost me like I think maybe $1,500 to get with my earnest money, like just to get started and to cover the closing cost. And the rest of it was like I said, I leveraged it. Yeah, I thought it was pretty easy. And then later I get a nice payday. I got a bonus, you know what I mean? I got a nice commission or something, and then I would buy a little bit more. I buy a little bit more. I even partnered with some people that you hooked me up with.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think that's the big key is you just keep putting money away. You had your overall goal of retirement and you've been following your own path and being consistent with that. Consistent,
Right.
so important.
Yep.
How do people get a hold of you?
So how do people get a hold of me? You can reach me at dirtisgold.com/Sonia, Sonia, or you can call me on my cell, 323-363-6321. That is 323-363-6321. Or you can email me at my name, Sonia, Sonia, .Azizian @gmail.com.
Yay! Thank you
Yay.
so much for your time today and sharing all of your story and excitement and woes. A lot going on in life. And I
Yes.
think some people can definitely possibly commiserate and appreciate everything that you shared. So I appreciate you, Sonia. And yeah, let's go out there and make some dirt is gold happen
Let's
for
keep doing
people.
it. Yes, absolutely. And Marcella, thank you so much for having me on this doing this little interview for me. I think it's so great. I am so absolutely grateful to you. And I have to mention Rick, your husband,
Of
because
course.
if it wasn't for Rick and his networking group, that I never would have met you guys. And I really am one of those people who truly believes in no coincidence. And we create our way, we create the life that we love. And you have helped me along the way so much. And I am forever grateful for you. And I cannot wait for us to be kicking back. I don't drink, but if I did, let's say pina coladas or something on a beach somewhere.
We can always have the mocktails.
There we go. Mocktails work too. So, yes, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Your friendship means the world to me. So it's my joy in many ways, Sonia, to work with you and to be here with you today and to continue on this journey together.
Thank you so much. I so love you. Yay, sending big hugs.
Until next
Oh,
time.
for sure. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye now.